Wait, Mommy, how long is it going to be?
I do a 2-hour live. So you got time to do one more missing assignment, my love. Or you can just stay here. I just started. Wave hello, everybody. James is here. Who have we got? We've got Alex is here. Alexis, actually.
Why are you sitting on that?
Yay. Huh?
Why are you sitting on that chair?
Huh?
Why are you sitting on that one?
Because my back is hurting, baby. I'm trying out different chairs. My back is just killing me today. So I brought even the kitchen table chair in here trying to find some relief. Baby, I'm on my live. Can you go do your homework that you need to finish? You don't want me going in there showing your progress report to your brother, do you? Hey, Annie. Hey, Jillian. Hey, New Dime. I think New Dime is supposed to be, oh my gosh, I was trying to remember your name. Like Amy or Alice or something something that starts with an A, I think, maybe. I'm probably way off, but I was trying. I was trying to remember who you were through messages. It's hard to remember everybody, but I was trying. Hey, Lady. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Meg. Ale. Amber. I was right. I was close. I knew it started with an A. Rosalind. I love that name. Very nice. Hey, Annie. Hey, Twinkle. How's it going? My special helper. Oh, my gosh. Y'all are so good. So good to me. But, yeah, my back is killing me today. I've spent too many hours in this chair or at my desk or whatever, creating material for Sunday, researching more E&M questions. I don't want to go over the same questions I did last time. I want to make it a value to whoever bought both of them for the workshops. So, yeah, I've been putting in the time at the desk, and it's killing me. But that's okay. I got Advil and Tylenol on board. I just may not be as talkative today because, when you don't feel 100%, you're not as talkative, which might be a good thing. So I get to rattling on.
Well, after my missing assignment, can I watch like a movie on my computer?
Not on Netflix, not on YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
2 and... No, this is supposed to be an I. I-L-E-A-L. I'll have to fix that. Where'd my tape go? Where'd my tapey go? Love this stuff. Gonna need to order some more because I'm not sure. This is my only one. And I'm always messing up my handwriting. It's not good for me to talk and write a word at the same time. I found that if I'm quiet, I can actually spell things correctly. All right, so this is just to create a new opening in the abdominal wall that connects it to the ileal intestinal pouch. That's what's going on in number 14, in case y'all can't see. We love that we have a name brand right there. If you're near this code and you don't have that particular word highlighted in this CPT code, You really should, because that's important. That might be in a CPC exam question if they're going to use anything. But they love to pick the codes that start out with the same thing. I don't know if there's anything right here that looks like it starts out with the same thing. They love it when the parent codes are both the same thing. But just to show you what I'm doing here, I like to go through the CPT book. Let me shut the door because the video games are loud.
And my earbuds. You never get the chance.
Why do you look at me like that? Because I'm surprised you were doing your work still. Ooh, my kids. Lord have mercy. So what I like to do is go through the CPT book, mark our do nots, highlight just what's in the parentheses, if it's a parentheses in a CPT code, descriptor. I love those things. I know I don't have to mark the S's, but I'm just showing that there's plural here so that it's not just one. It will remove like 3 tumors. I just like to know that, and because some things are singular and you got to times them, but when they tell me it could be multiple, I just do the S. Hey MK, hey Tween, thank you for all the love and the likes already and the share of the live. That all helps getting it up. You signed up for Sunday. Awesome. I did one thing. I put something on the on my website because people were asking me like crazy, can we please buy last Sunday's time and be included? And I didn't know how to keep all that separate, because if everybody's buying this one thing, I don't know who I haven't added and who I have added. And I'm not technologically sound enough to understand all the differences and nuances of the website. So anyway, long story, I created an item today. Let me show you. No wrong things. If we go to Medical Coding by Jen, and you go to my website, and we go to, let's see, shop instead of bookings. But if you go to shop, if I can get this thing to work, I don't know. Does it work on app version, or do you have to change it to desktop view? I don't know. We'll try that and see what it does. Or am I losing internet right now? I hope not. Thank you for the loves. So if you go to my shop on my website, I now have last Sunday's live on here, and I put it at $11 so that I know all $11 payments will be for the addition that I need to add all those email addresses that are attached to that sale to YouTube. It will be something separate. That's the only way I could figure out how to make sure that every sale was separate, was to change the price. So I'm sorry about the extra dollar, but that's just going to help me sort all those email addresses that I need to add. But I have it there. If you want to buy access to listen or watch that 3.5 hour of all E&Ms, it goes into crazy detail of all kinds of things, but it's like 70 questions, all E&M. If you want to buy it, it's there. So I finally figured out a solution to what I was worried about. And I know Miss Harris got hers. I'm going to add her email to the YouTube, and then YouTube will send you an email directly to that email address you put in on my website. So be sure it's a good email, because that email is attached to what YouTube will send you. Then also please make sure that it's the same email that's attached to your YouTube account, because I think you got to be attached to that email in that YouTube. I don't know. just be sure and get that email to the correct email address so that you can click on the link. And when you click on the link, it should give you access to it. Oh, your exam is tomorrow, Mom. Oh. I'm nervous for you, but please just think about everything I've said. Don't read the questions. Have me on your shoulder. Really, really honest mom, Swaz. Make sure you think about what I've told you. And if you have coding or exam anxiety, start flipping. Well, let's see, if you're going to take it tomorrow, then you're doing it online. Go on and hit the arrow button over and find you some questions that you just no, tomorrow's Saturday. So you're taking it in person. Good. You can flip through the exam booklet and find you some questions that just with one glance, I know the answer to that one. I know it 100%. And answer those first. Take a ruler and line up your workbook of questions with your Scantron page and make sure they line up when you're answering, especially if you're going to skip around. But it's good to build up your confidence and shake off the nerves with questions that you know right away. If you have a lot of testing anxiety, I can't do it. I have a lot of testing anxiety, but I have, as an auditor, I have to go from number 1, number 2, number 3. I just have to, and I drive myself nuts with that. But I think a lot of times I'll see people miss anesthesia and integumentary. And then once they get into muscle and cardiology, of all things, their scores go up because they've gotten into the exam and they forgot to be scared by that point. And then their scores go up. And then towards the end, they've read too many of the questions, and then their anatomy and stuff goes down low because they ran out of time and just had to bubble things in. So I say just go through the exam the first time really fast. Just find the ones you know right away. I know what the answer is going to be. Answer those real quick. Get rid of your jitters, and then go back through the exam a second time and do the rest. But you got to make sure you're bubbling in the right answers with the right codes is all. And please, please think about me. How would Jen attack this question? Okay, don't read the question. Don't read the question. Jen says don't read the question. Go the answers first. Go the answers first. If it's a wordy question, get rid of the answers that say always, never. If it's a maybe that's the answer. That's a lot of times. And then do your process of elimination. Look up the codes first. See what the difference is between your after you've done the process of elimination. Grab your one word difference and do a word search from the bottom up. Some questions you know that the answer is going to be at the top because it's part of the procedure name that you need. Some might be in the middle, but kind of think about too, where is the answer going to be? Is it going to be in the middle, top, or bottom? They all have a pattern. So if it's with a stent or without, you know that's going to be towards the bottom at the end of the question. With guidance down at the bottom. But if you need to know the name of a procedure, it's going to be up at the top. That'll all help you out for sure. Best of luck. I know you've been here for a long time watching my lives, so I'll be sad, sorta, if to see you not here if you do pass, but that's a good thing. Like a mama bird with her baby birds out of the nest. I know y'all got to go on with your lives without me, but I really hope I make a difference and you get that freaking certificate so you can get that career you want or a promotion at where you're at. So I'm excited for you. That's going to be great. Just go on and put up all of your clothes, set those out tonight, socks, underwear, shoes, all that stuff. Put your books out in the car too tonight. That way, when you get up in the morning, you don't have to think. You'll be like Jeff Bezos and all those rich people that they wear the same clothes every day for every meeting. Like Charlie Brown, his closet is the same. Seriously, that Facebook guy, whoever he is, I forget what his name is. But anyway, he wears the same outfit every day, so he doesn't use brain power every morning. He doesn't have to think. They eat the same breakfast every day. That way they get to their first business meeting. That's when they shut off the autopilot because they're on autopilot. From then, they don't have to make any decisions. They already know what socks they're going to wear and everything. What breakfast they're going to eat. It's all on autopilot. They get to their first business meeting. That's when they start using their brain power. So go on and put everything out in the car tonight. Don't forget your AAPC membership ID number. Write it on maybe your CPT book so you don't have to have a cell phone to look it up. Bring a ruler if you've got one or any straight edge something. And relax. You've got me in your head. You're going to do way better with me in your head. Okay, now I got to check on messages here. What are we doing? Hey, Angel, how's it going? Today, your Discord was having problems. Be sure and reboot your computer or device. Like not just restart it, but turn it off and then turn it back on. See if that doesn't help. Also check your memory. Make sure you've got enough memory space on your phone. Hey, Bells. You got a bad knee, Annie. We'll suffer together. Oh, gosh. You're signing up for Sunday. Good job, Annie. I hope it's helpful. I'm working real hard to find all new questions for Sunday too, but all still E&M, but I am throwing in some diagnosis ones. I know we only have like 6 questions that are diagnoses, but there's some guidelines we need to go over. So I want to make sure y'all know a few diagnosis ones that are really cool guidelines that y'all will benefit from. It'll be a good one. It'll be another 3 hours full of questions, 70 or more. I'll have to no fluff, no talk, just get to business with questions. Hey, perfectly. It's good to see you here. Poor Mom. All right, Mom. Angel is testing too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you got to let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear back and see if it goes. They're taking pre-orders already for 2023 books. That's when I usually buy mine. As soon as my tax return comes back with the kids' money for the boys, that's what I do every year is I pay my annual dues and then I buy my books for the next year so that I can do them up for you guys. Yep, in person. I had to think about what day it was. It's been a crazy day. I got off to the wrong foot. I forgot about Jolene's free tutoring today because she won that contest. James drew her name, and I was on the phone with James's principal because I had to finally just call about his bullying because they went too far and actually hit him or kicked him, or he said jump on. They jumped on the back of his knees in the middle of class. I don't know how you do that. But that kid, the one that did the physical part of it, got in-school suspension today, which was good. But I had to call him this morning and say, they just been picking on him like crazy, and now they're getting physical with it. And so she took care of that, but I completely forgot about tutoring. And then good gracious, it's been one little fire after another, but the tutoring went so well today. It was amazing. And I just love that. I love working one-on-one, and then somebody not understand something. She had questions that she sent me and wanted to understand why she got them wrong on her last exam, or she thinks she may have gotten them wrong. Not sure, because they don't give you the answers to the last one on the course, but we went through why the answer was what it was, and it was fun. I loved it. I can't look at the clock when testing anxiety provoked. Yeah, I bet. You're welcome. If I would be given a paper, I would do medical terminology, anatomy, and regulations and compliance. If I would be given a paper, I would do. Well, what I did when I audited the exam is I just wrote the vocabulary in the beginning of the sections. So if they asked me a question and I thought it was in the digestive system, then I just wrote the vocabulary in the front of the digestive system, those kind of things when I audited it. Yep, we're all cheering for you. Oh, you'll always join my lives. Aw, you're never going to leave? That's awesome. Aw, thanks, Annie. I appreciate you guys. Y'all fill my life with a lot of joy seeing y'all pass and get those careers that y'all want. I love helping. I love being useful. That's my thing. I like being useful. Yes, you are allowed, lady, to mark in your exams for the book during the Aapc CPC exam. You are not allowed to write in your exam if you're taking ahimas, CCS or CCA. They know better. They don't care what you write in your book, ahima, and the proctors are not allowed to say anything to you guys for the CCA and the CCS, what you have written in your book actually. The instructors to the proctors for ahima say that it is up to the test taker to make sure their reference material, which is the CPT book and ICD-10 and the HitPix, that those reference materials have appropriate information in them when they write information in them, and that it's up to the examee to make sure it's appropriate. But it is not the proctor's job to look at it and decide whether it's appropriate or not. So I love their wording on that. That's great. But you cannot write or highlight any information during the exam in your book about the exam as you're doing it. We will just be quiet and hope that AAPC never institutes that problem or side note that I use, but you can absolutely highlight in your book, and they think it is a good tool to use during your exam so you don't lose your spot on which code you were looking at. If you needed to highlight these two and then you had to go look at your test exam booklet, that's moving your eyes to another page. Well, if you're looking at all of this page and then you need to read your question again, not that you're supposed to be reading your questions, no reading, and then you have to come back to this page, they allow it. You can highlight, mark, whatever, the two that you're talking about right now so that it all doesn't look like one whole page. You can actually use it to your benefit during your exam, and they encourage it so that you keep your answers and your Scantron card and your test booklet all matching, because that's 3 different booklets that you're using just to get one bubble in. So they encourage it for sure. So that's okay for AAPC. Yes, if you have to guess, pick the best answer or go low. Busy work is awful, especially when you don't understand why you're doing it and what the purpose is. There's nothing more frustrating, for sure. I hope it goes well. And they have been doing a lot better than they did in December. Even though y'all's exams taken tomorrow are going to be mailed to AAPC, when you get that notification to say that we have it, they might even scan it that day and change the status to graded that day. It's been really fast. As soon as they get it in the mail, they've been grading it. Somebody took it on Saturday. They had their results on Tuesday. So it's been crazy fast right now. The dues are $190 every year. Yep. You can't hit anyone? What are we talking about now? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the school, James. Yes, I know. Yeah. These two boys, I don't know why. They've been nice all year long, and James gets along with everybody, but the last 2 weeks they've been picking on him because of his weight. And it's mostly just verbal abuse, but this time they tried to trip him or make him fall in the middle of class. Macho stuff. So, yeah. James wouldn't hurt a fly. He wouldn't bother nobody, and he wouldn't retaliate either. He just sat there in class and cried for an hour. So, and they had a substitute teacher, so the class was just going crazy that day, and it was the last period of the day. But today was a great day because all the bullies absolutely left him alone after they took their ringleader out of the loop today. And he got to miss all the prep rallies and everything else because spring break is next week. They're out for 10 days. So I think it's perfect timing. If something was going to go down, it gives them all 10 days to cool off, I hope. And then everybody can go back to being nice when they go back to school. Hopefully nobody will hold grudges. I know James wouldn't. So I think that'll be the best. I hope. Thanks so much, guys, for helping them or giving this everybody that's taking their exam tomorrow a bunch of support. It's great to see this community grow like this. Well, that's just my first step, and then I go a little crazy after that with adding in some details, I guess. But what I like to do is definitely fix the out of code sequences on these. Let me see if I can find any. All those red codes that are in here that are marked with being out of sequence, and they give you that stupid range. So I go on and fix that, put the page number down where it's at through the entire book. Then I go through and mark my do nots, highlight what's in the parentheses if a CPT code has it, and that's it. That's all the highlighting I do. Then I go back through and mark blue stars, 2 blue stars, especially if they let me know that there is a modifier alert. So I've got 2 blue stars here because they're letting me know how to do imaging guidance. So if there's guidance, then they're telling me I need to go see these codes. So I like to be told when I'm going to use modifiers, when I need to use image guidance, what do I do? Or if I'm supposed to use a code with another code like this one, I do blue stars right here. So those are all important to me and I like them. Green 1 stars are I can skip that information. I don't really need to know it. I do circle every time in the entire book they mention the word of open procedure, and I circle the word open in green. And if it's a closed procedure, I circle it in orange, kind of like it's red and green, stop and go, those kind of things, just so I know that it's if it's a closed procedure, it's a scope with cameras at the end. And they're not looking at the body with their own eyeballs, but looking at it through cameras. And then if it's an open procedure, I know they're looking at it with their eyeballs. And they've cut the body open. The other thing I do is I find the add-on codes that I know are going to be times. This digestive system is one of the very first sections that I've done so far that has some add-on codes that don't mean the fact that you are going to do it times something. Some of them are just that code, and then however many more steps are involved, if you need to add another step, it's all included into this one. You don't do each and then times. So I refrain from putting the times by those, but the ones that I know that are for each area that will be a times, I do mark the times down. The green stars still mean nothing much. I go through and write down a little bit about what's going on in each CPT code. Then I go back and do my one-word differences that will make a difference during the exam over here. So if it's a difference between this code and that code, I know this one's a closure, this one's a resection, this one's with a prostate, this one's with the prostate and a colostomy. So I still got to finish going on through that, but that's super helpful for the CPC exam. If there are any AKAs that I know about, I write those in, and then I write some helpful info on the headers to let y'all know a little bit about what's going on in these. Some of the anatomy pictures, I'll tell you about what procedure we're doing, and if there's any handy information that I can tell you, I'll let you know in my notes. Like, there's 3 types of this kind of procedure. One's end to end, one's end to side, one's side to side. So you know that there's 3 different types of that procedure. Cool things like how long is the small intestines, those kind of things. Just anything I can do to make it helpful for you. Put all the prefixes, suffixes, those kind of things in the beginning of the chapter with the anatomy. Yeah, I go a little crazy over here, but it's fun with the root words and definitions and making sure y'all have everything you might need for the exam for sure. But it's more than what you would need. The main thing you need is that one-word differences. Mark your do nots, mark your do's. Mark it when it says use a modifier and highlight what's inside those, because that I can't tell you how helpful that is, because they'll use Hartman in the CPC exam question if they're going to pick between those codes. If they're doing a Hartman type, it's right there. That's what will be in the word. But that's the most important thing. So I just made a TikTok on it, and it's my last TikTok, and then I posted it on YouTube too about some of the most important things to start with in your book. Those are super helpful. I do a lot more, but this would give you enough information career-wise. Like if you went and worked and coded somewhere, you would know something about every single code and what in layman's terms is going on in each side of one of them. And you could be like top dog knowing all kinds of stuff. People would be envious of your book for sure. So, but it's not technically needed for the exam. You just need to grab those one words and go. So that's fun to know. But I don't know. Y'all have to tell me if it was just absolutely needed for the exam or not. But I figured out that this highlighting and boxing and bubbling stuff, that ain't as helpful as getting that Hartman highlighted right there in the middle, because that's helpful. And then putting your one word difference right there and grabbing that and doing a word search through the question. That can be just so helpful, guys. That speeds up your time through these questions like crazy. Let me bring up the questions I have for tonight. I have a ton of them, and I was probably already talking too long. Alrighty. I got some cases to do. All right. Any questions before we go? Let me look through this chat real quick. And I feel like highlighting is way too much compared to yours. If we have to go to the restroom, even then we need, no. If you're doing the exam in person, you are free to go to the bathroom whenever you want to, but they're going to force you to use a hall pass, and you have to go one at a time. So whenever somebody leaves and goes to the bathroom, they come back, they'll bring back the hall pass, put it on the end of a table somewhere, and then if you want to get up, you got to snag it first before anybody else gets up and then go. That's the way my chapter did it. Every chapter will have their own set of rules, like only 2 allowed or something, who knows. But they'll explain that for you when you get there. If you are taking your exam at home, and it is in 2 parts, so it's 2 hours each. If you can't hold it for 2 hours, you cannot leave. The proctor will not allow you unless you have an ADA from Aapc. It's super easy to do. All you need to do is email them. I have the instructions on Discord in the what to expect on the day exam, and they can't, you could email them literally anything, and they cannot deny you ADA rights for any reason. Just if you email that particular email address, which is like ada@aapc.com, and you tell them your situation, they can't deny that. They just need to send you a letter that you will have to send to your proctor online during your exam, via email. The proctor will tell you on the online day where to send it to, and then they'll just need to see it. So that's all. Out of the musculoskeletal system, I identified 2 parenthetical notes, but could you give me an example? Yes, I can give you an example, because I had to explain why my notes choice is important and couldn't. Okay. It's really worth it to get my job in medical coding. I think so. There is absolutely no better field to get a job in except for medicine of any sort, whether you front desk or medical coding and billing. Now, medical coding and billing is super cool because you can work anywhere in the world and still do coding. There's tons of jobs in the health plans. You could work for Cigna or all kinds of places. But you could work for CVS, the pharmacies. You can work for the health plans. You can work for the medical groups. You can work for ambulance services, outpatient surgery centers, every doctor's office. There are so many opportunities in different places you can get hired onto. You don't have to hurt for a job. If you don't like one, you can get a different one. Being in the medical field is a small community, but it is a worthwhile community to get into. During a pandemic, you will never not lose a job. I mean, there is, no better. Everybody's going to need medical care at some point in their life. And our population is growing and growing, and there is no end in sight for medical jobs of any sort, for sure. So parentheticals in the musculoskeletal section. Hold on, let me get my pen. Look, this pen working. Alma. Okay. So we've got parentheticals for bilateral procedures. Use 50 parentheticals. We still got our, I don't know why I did that one in red, but this is last year's book because I haven't done this section in 2022 yet. But there is lots of parentheticals in the musculoskeletal system to use. School not hitting AAPC. I know my brain had done shifted. And I'm like, ooh, we going to go hit up on AAPC now? We going to gang up on them? As a child, I was picked on and I was forbidden to fight by my mother. Well, one day I got fed up and ended it. I guess you did. I know too. I was picked on always in school. It was so bad. I finally had to just stand up to them. And I did very loudly and vocally and got right up in their face, just so demoralized and traumatized and tired of it. And from the time I did that and was ready to take them all on off campus in a public place in front of everybody all alone, and I just showed that I would, and I probably looked as crazy as could be, where I could just, my head was spinning. I was so mad at that point. They left me alone after that, but good gracious. Why have you got to get so mean with somebody just to get them to leave you alone? So it's a closed procedure when you do EKGs and ultrasounds. I think you can do most of the time ultrasounds, yes, because when you are doing your scopes and you don't know where you're going, you need ultrasound guidance to guide you to the right place. Usually those are like needle biopsies and you're not doing any visual looking at the body, so you need an ultrasound to guide you. So yes. Yes, this is musculoskeletal system right there. I did make my book stand. I'm so happy with it, y'all. My flower on the other side. And my Rosalie Cullen over there on my picture. I met the actress who plays Rosalie. One of her husbands was playing at a band concert, and she came out in the crowd with me and stood right next to me. And I actually had pictures of her as Rosalie Cullen and had her sign it in the middle of a rock concert, standing in a mosh pit with me. That picture right there. That's funny. Anyway, but yes, I did make this stand. I got this Lazy Susan off of Amazon. It's 18 inches. And I just put $2 Velcro on it. And on the bottom of these book stands were $18 each on Amazon. I think this was $36. And so I bought 2 book stands, and then I just Velcroed the book stands right there on them. And these things are like earthquake. I mean, I could shake this thing to death and it ain't going to come off of this. This Velcro is strong. I don't know what the deal is, but I love this thing. Auntie Cece's mom made one for her daughter, and which was Auntie Cece, and she showed me a picture, and I was like, oh, went straight to Amazon and made my own. Now you can get cheaper options because you can get a plastic Lazy Susan. Just make sure it's 18 inches because that's going to have to hold 2 books. And then you can get plastic book stands too. And I have the measurements of the book stands. I don't remember those off the top of my head. In our Discord on our Discord in our CPT book prep room, but I can also message you the pictures of what I bought from Amazon. But those pictures that I have on our Discord have the measurements for the book stands in it too, which is helpful because you want to get the right size so it fits together. But man, yeah, I made it myself. I'm trying to talk my oldest into making, do a 3D print. Like, he's got a 3D printer, but he's redoing his room right now and painting the walls. But as soon as he gets reorganized, he should do some 3D prints and just do this. And he could sell these things out of the house. They're great. I love this thing. Yep. It keeps me from manhandling these books all over the time. And then I can just push it out of the way or bring it forward whenever I need to. It just slides right across the desk. So I love it. I think it's the best thing ever. Okay. This is my 2021 book. My 2022 has quite a bit of differences than this. From me first starting to tell y'all what you needed for the exam versus what I know now after working with y'all for since April of last year. I know more of what to put in these books now that will really help for sure. I have learned a lot since April. Never gonna get through these messages. Let's see. Is this for HRIT? It can be for any medical coding class where you need to learn or know what or how to pick an answer for a multiple choice question on a medical certification exam of any sort. So, what are your guys' first thoughts on this particular question? How are we going to find out quickly what the answer is? What do you think? Aw, thanks. I appreciate all your wisdom. You are the best. Just knowing we have options. Yep, to assist us. Absolutely. I agree. Very exciting. Try to pass the exam finally. Hey, Irene. How's it going? Take it from me. Jen will help you pass. I did because of her. Aw, thank you. You were awesome to come back and hang out with me. You're very welcome. I believe you can take your Lazy Susan with you for the exam as long as it doesn't make any noise, and you can tell mine's super silent. You just don't want to disturb the other test takers, so as long as it's not creaky. I had somebody ask if they could take their personal fan with them for their hot flashes. I had imagined you could take anything. I suggested one of those, you go to Disney World or Disneyland or any theme park, and they have those like little battery operated hand fans that you can turn on. I suggested that instead of like a plug-in box fan or something. But there's always options, whatever you need to bring, just as long as it's quiet. Trying to get my husband to make me one. You can make it yourself. Go to Amazon and order what I ordered. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And you can make it yourself. All you got to do is stick 2 pieces of Velcro down. That's all you got to do. Good Lord. A phone. You just need the measurements. Where are you at? Here we go. All right. There's our Lazy Susan. I did that one, but just make sure it's 18 inches. Doesn't matter where you get it from. And then I did this book stand, and it's 13.4 by 9.5. Doesn't matter where you get it from. But I did 2 of those, and then I seriously did $2 Velcro. That's it. So just get those things. You can order them from AliExpress or anywhere cheaper, and you can literally make it yourself. All you got to do is stick down the Velcro. Super easy. You can make it yourself. Absolutely. Notes on code 204. What? 2104. 21. Hmm. 21040. Explain the notes. Oh, just the parentheticals. They're not important. Not for that CPT code. So the for your information ones is what I call these. If they don't have anything about a modifier in it, and they don't have anything in there about do nots, or to use this code with another code, I call these for your information. I ignore those parentheticals. This one is for an excision of a benign tumor. This one will be for malignant. So we'd have malignant and benign. That's your two differences between these codes. That's all you need to do. This one's a malignant tumor over here too, but this is of the mandible. The other one is of the mandible too. This one is for the maxilla, but this one is radical, meaning that they're going to go super deep on that one for sure. It's okay. It doesn't matter which book you got out, the 2021 or the 2022. For the process of elimination, Betty, you're right. Let's go towards those modifiers because we can pick out which hand it would be right away. Someone I watched suggest that rubber thing to your finger to help you slip pages faster. My fingers get too sweaty in a nervous situation like that, and those things fill up with water. I don't know. If you're comfortable wearing those things now as a daily practice, then great. If you are not used to it, it's going to slow you down that day because you got to get used to it. So if you're going to use those finger thingies, then be sure you know how to, you're comfortable with using it. Practice it ahead of time. So our modifiers, F7 is for what finger? And then F2 is for what finger? So we got left hand and right hand differences. So we look at our first question right down here. Which finger is bugging Mickey Mouse? It's the right long finger is bugging Mickey Mouse. So which F code goes with right hand? It is our bigger number, right? It's the sevens, right? So we can get rid of the C and D super quick because of that, because we know that we're on the right long finger. Really? The long one? Some people might have a short one right there. You never know. Crappy note. So, what do we see in one of our throwaways that might indicate what the answer is? I love doing that part too. You counted on your hand. Do y'all see something in one of your throwaways? Yes, that 10 is in your throwaway, which might indicate that your answer is A, right? It's just a pattern I see a lot of times in AAPC. So I love using that as an indicator of what answer it is. But let's go see what we need to do to figure out our answer is either look at the, we can absolutely look and see what the differences are between the 00 and the 10, or do we know that we don't use the 59 modifier here with this, that we only keep it going with the procedure sides that we are doing? Those things can be helpful too. But if you want to look up the differences of the 20610, just to be learning something about musculoskeletal and making sure that we do try to learn a little something, but I like showing off the process of elimination and how you can get the answer without looking at the question at all. If I was taking the exam today, I would be bold enough just to pick A and move on to the next question because I've, nothing to lose. But our 10 difference between that and our 00, they both start out with the same word, and they both go for the artho, aspiration, injection. One of them's a small joint, one of them's a major joint. So are we doing the shoulder, hip, knee area, or are we doing bursa, just like fingers or toes on our second procedure? And it looks like we are doing the left shoulder, which is a major, right? So we would definitely be doing the major, which again is the 10. So that helps me make sure and verify that that is the right answer. Yep. Yeah, that's more difficult to explain. If this was a procedure that was not a unilateral procedure, then maybe we would add a 59. If it was a bilateral procedure, if that makes sense, But both these procedures, the 00 and the 10, are unilateral procedures. And you need to add the LT modifier to it to tell you where the other procedure is. And you don't have to use the 59 modifier with this, because this is just an injection on top of another injection. It's not like they're competing procedures. I wouldn't have stopped and sat down and changed instruments for these two types of procedures because they're both injections. So you're going to use the same instruments. When you're going to use the 59 modifier, it would be like, okay, I'm going to do a trigger finger injection, and then I'm going to do an excision of a lesion. I have to put down the instruments for the injection for the trigger finger, and then I have to get out another set of instruments to do a full-on excision, and that constitutes prepping for differently for the patient, because you would prep differently. You'd have to have out different sheets, for sterile procedure and all that stuff. So when they're both the same procedure but in different body parts, you don't need that 59 modifier. But it takes a long time to explain that, so it's easier just to go to the codes and figure out that this one meant another finger injection, this one meant a big major bony area like the shoulder. So that's super easy to explain. But I hope that helps. Does that help? Yay, you're welcome. But still, we did this fairly quickly, and this example is Super long. You don't need to know none of that mess. And there's our answer. Awesome. Yay. All right, what do we see here? We see we need to find out the differences between the 8-3 and the 8-4 first, because if we figure that out, then we can at least eliminate 2 answers. You're very welcome, very welcome. So 669. And y'all that have passed me today, I was talking to an old friend of mine. I haven't talked to her in a while. And she reached out today for another issue, but I remembered that she is like highfalutin medical coder. Like she does all the specialty stuff. So like hospital payment systems, all that kind of stuff. She does tutoring too, but she doesn't like to tutor for CPC. Not at all. But she likes to help with, like I said, highfalutin stuff, like huge payment methodologies, things that are super difficult. I think she holds 10 certificates actually from CPC. She's like really crazy. But she loves doing the high stuff, like high complexities of hospitalizations and the payment methodologies for billers. So if anybody has passed their CPC and want to move on to somebody that can help them further their like really high level hospitalization coding, stuff like that for billing and stuff, let me know and I can send you her information too, by the way. I forgot about that. And I know people have been asking me about payment methodologies, and I'm like, I could write up something, but I just don't have time right now. Okay, 8-4 and 8-3. Sorry, 6-6, 6-6-9, 6-6-9. Get to the right place. If I ever get through with this CPT book, maybe I can get some ideas going for that area. But for right now, I just don't have the time. Let's see, we are doing, oh, super easy, right? We're doing intra and extra. Yes, Stussy, I'm hiding the bottom of the screen. I'm hiding it. I'm hiding it. Y'all got me hopping tonight. Let's see, page 81. A note about use modified, an add-on code. Can we, Okay, there's 3 add-on codes on this page. Only one is in each. The other 2 are not in each, because you're not going to cut open and do a C-section on the same patient multiple times in the day. So the bottom ones are most definitely just a one-time thing. So you wouldn't multiply those. The add-on codes, can we use modified? What does that mean? I'm not following you, Mom. Oh, a modifier with the add-on code? Why would you need to use a modifier with an add-on code? I would assume no. I know we definitely don't use 51 or 50 with it. Yeah, no modifier on that. I mean, you know, if you're doing, she's probably asking about doing anesthesia one place, but then adding that okay, so if you did, I don't know, what could you do? I'm trying to think of an extended service. Probably, yeah, that's a good suggestion. If the C-section, how can a C-section be longer though, really? I know it would not be a reduced service, that's for sure. And extended, what about an episiotomy? What if you had to do an extended episiotomy? I know it took my doctor forever. I was ready to call in. I mean, that took longer than giving birth did. Like, dude, hurry up. I wonder. I'd never say never. Now, for the CPC exam, it ain't going to happen. You're not going to add some modifier to some add-on code in the middle of the CPC exam. They're not that difficult. Ever in life, in real life coding, possibly, because things happen all the time. There's never a no, a definite. There's always a maybe. So for the CPC exam, no, there's not going to be. Let's just put it towards that. All right, this next question. Sorry, guys. So are we doing intra or extra? What if they don't give you that information? Look at this question. This squirrel presents with this thing, but they don't tell you whether the procedure is intra or extra. No worries, Mom. Sorry, I wish I could be more specific. It's a little hard with the trying to think of something on the fly, but I can't think of a way anywhere that Aapc would add a modifier there. No way. Implant, intra. 8.5 is an implant too, right? It's secondary. Oh yeah, but we're not doing 8.5, we're doing 8.4. 8.4 and 8.3 are... Did you look, guys, for something that will match with what's in the parentheses? Look again. Okay, we do have parentheses in both. Are they doing irrigation or... That's our difference right there, is this word. Did you find which word this one's in? Yep. So then all we need to know is, can we add the 67515 with it or not? And do we need to? What is our 67515? That's the injection of the medicine into a tendon's capsule. This does give you a subconjunctival injection. How do you know if this 84 includes an injection or not? That's right, Mean. It is included in that procedure. You wouldn't know it unless you wrote it in there, or you had a CPT changes book with the insider view, probably from 2020, right? So we want to make sure that we know, and we make a note that this includes injection. Because our answer is A. Yep. Lab and path. I get asked about this stuff all the time. You like that one? It might be one you gave me, Betty. I can't remember. I was looking at all your stuff today. She's been helping me out. Oh, come on, ink pen. Is the ink pen trick not going to work today? Come on. You found a different color? You like that color? Yeah, you like blue, don't you, camera? All right, let's run to this 88307 code. This one is crazy. 88307. These are those microscopic procedures which are crazy. These things are items that are cut off somebody's body, and then they send them down to path or up for the pathology to look at after the surgery. And what you need to know is, what did they cut off the body, but what do they want you to look at under the microscope? Then you get to do this lovely word search through all these codes, the 304, the 305, the 307, and the 309, to find those particular body part that you need to evaluate. It's a little bit of a reverse of the word search. Instead of word searching the question, you're word searching the CPT code. So we just need to figure out what we got going on. So we have 2 lymph nodes from the thyroid that are being biopsied. And then we have the thyroid itself. So we have 2 things being biopsied. The thyroid is one thing, and then the 2 lymph nodes is another thing. So we know we can get rid of B, because we're gonna definitely need 2 codes, because these are separated out by 2 different parts. If you look under 88307 and you look all the way down to thyroid total, you'll see it's listed there under 07. So, and we have it in both, or all the remaining answers anyway. I would eliminate 4 because it's not like the 5. What they're wanting to know is, do we know the difference? Do we need to code ×2, or do we need to code it by itself? Because if you look under the 05 and you go all the way down to lymph node biopsy, it's listed there. Since they said that they did 2 lymph nodes, do you need to code it ×2 or just by itself? Everybody saying C? All right, I want y'all to turn to page, if you're in the 2022 book, it's page 688 and the top part of 689. So at the bottom, down here in your guidelines, before you code these, I haven't done this section yet, but I know the guideline. Right here, it says about the specimen tissues in any of these sections. So two or more such specimens from the same patient that separately identified biopsies or skin lesions are each. We've got our word each. If you don't circle that, you need to circle that, because each is your indicator for always doing what? Times, right? So anytime you see the word each, that means time. And because we have, and it sort of gives you a hint here, when it says lymph node, that is singular. Biopsy, it does not say biopsies, IES. That is a singular notation in your language. You know you get to do this code times 2. Page 689. Whoops. Lost the camera. There we go. So since we have 2 lymph nodes, I like this one too. I think this is one of Betty's questions. I loved it today. I had to bring it in. I thought it was a great help. I've done a lot of these 05, 04, 07, and 09 questions, but I've never done 1 times 2, so I thought that was awesome and very cool and a good thing to teach. And you still got the wrong answer? No. You sent it to me, girl, with the answer. And I was like, let me go verify that. Oh, my back is feeling better. I got that Tylenol and Advil working now. Thank goodness. Oh. Yep. Annotate those. Yep. Write all the information you want. Treat this book like your brain. If you don't have a photographic memory and can't remember every single question I show you and the answer and why I got it, most definitely, please make some notes in your book. So again, if I was doing this question just for the process of elimination, I would look at these. I would definitely get rid of B because it's only 1 code, right? The rest are all 2. This one, the 4 is out of whack. So I would get rid of that. That just gives you A and C to worry about. And you can tell they really just want to know, do you need to do times 2 or not? So you know they're trying to encourage or discourage you from either doing times 2. But if you know your guideline, you'd know. If you didn't know, and you can obviously see that they're trying to know whether you know a guideline or not, always try to look back at the beginning of the sections, because they always have some notes and they tell you here how to code them. I always take that information when I do up the books for you and I move it to the codes so that we don't leave it here in this beginning part. But if you're doing the books on your own and not copying from my notes page by page, because I haven't even done this section yet except for last year's, you can find this information too, and then you could move it. So what I would do is put each or that times that I've been doing beside every little thing that has a add-on code. Where's my add-on codes? Of course, when I try to find an add-on code, I can't find one. Good Lord. On the section, I write it all day long. Where's our eaches? Where's our add-on codes? We don't have any add-on codes in ears or eyes. I'm probably just skipping them. Right there. That's what I write down on each one. And then I circle the word each, supposedly. This one just doesn't have the each word in it, but you know what I mean. You've seen it before. There we go. I do those. So I would write each beside and do that times beside each one of those lab and path codes. Oh. All right. Here's another cool one. So for process of elimination, what are we keeping? What are we keeping? Thank you for the likes. I got 1,000 likes on this live. Y'all could be out on Friday night, date night, and y'all are here with me. I appreciate it. Yep, I'd get rid of that one too. Then I'd go see what my differences are. There is one more thing I could do right before I go see what my differences are. I would probably get rid of B, right? Because I've told you before that we would never use our Z51 code, which is our special chemotherapy radiation code. It's one of my only ones I want you to recognize during your CPC exam by sight, because it would never fall behind a diagnosis of cancer. It's always going to be your first code if they're here for chemo and radiation. And plus, with the process of elimination, we have two where it is first. But we can absolutely take a gander down here and we see that they are doing a chemotherapy or radiation treatment today, which will definitely put the Z51 as first. So you would never code the Z51 last. It will definitely always be your first code. And then the cancer, the reason for the chemo and radiation goes after it. It's just one of those guideline things in the front of your ICD-10 book. So this at least gets me down to just the 72 and the 73 and seeing if I know the differences right there. Now let's look. Do we have anything in our throwaways that's going to indicate which answer it is? So the 753 is in B, and then the 7109 is in C. So that's unhelpful. I've got both of them in my throwaways. So, well, yeah, is that a 3 too? Yeah, so unhelpful. But sometimes it's worth noting. All right, I'm going slow. So where is my 77372? Since y'all are beating me, 773. Seven, 72. And 73. So what's our differences in these? One of them's got an accelerator based, right? And the other one is stereo. Yep, one of them's radiation and one of them's stereo. That's our only differences. Yep, one of them's radiation and one of them's stereo. Sometimes you have to look back at the parent to see your differences, because the 82 is just a child code. It doesn't tell you very much. But if you look at the beginning of your parent code, if this is radiation, this one's stereo. That's your differences. So we just need to word search for stereo or radiation And I had already had stereo underlined. So we know that's, yes. Can we write Z code will always come first before C code? No, and it's only because not all Z codes. Okay, so a lot of Z codes are family history of cancer or something like that. And in that situation, it will always be the cancer that comes first. But only for Z51 is the only Z code that will always come first before cancer. So it's not all Z codes, it's that Z code. That special Z code. We have a diagnosis guideline with, did I leave my book here? Oops. There we go. Let's see. I don't think, yeah, I don't have that one lined up. Where's my 2021 book? Hold on. Let me get that one up real quick. My lovely cancer. Our cancer codes. There we go. It's just this guideline on G10 that says that G51 always goes first, and then the reason for the treatment, the malignancy, goes second. And that's right there. And in my typed guidelines, it would be color-coded for you. So it'll have a color code on the Z51, and then there will be a color code for the diagnosis being second. For the 2022, my 2021 guidelines are still written or just copies like this. But for 2022, I typed them all out, so it's a lot nicer for you. Say hi, Chloe. Say hi, Chloe. How are you? Oh, you winked at him. Good girl. She's sitting right underneath us while I'm teaching. She's got her catnip lollipop. It's a freaking lollipop catnip in bed with her. And she plays fetch like a dog. This is her favorite fetch toy, so it's in bed with her. She loves that thing. She's always bringing it to me, and then I'll throw it, and she'll go catch it. Yeah, that's Clo-Clo. All right. So let's do the process of elimination with this one. So don't freak out about all these codes. But what I do find interesting, right, is if we do the process of elimination, we can just try to figure out if we're doing an 09 and a 14 at the same time, right? I do like the fact that the second code has 300s all in them except for B. So what would happen if I took B out of the scenario? Since the second code is different on that one, now if I did the process of elimination, then I know I'm going to keep my 214s, right? It's another little hack to get you to where I didn't have to look up the difference between the 09 and the 14. So I kept C and D because of that. And they have the same second code. So, yeah, the differences here, they got the same last codes. the same middle codes, the same first codes. All we need to know is, are we a 073 or are we a 062 maybe? This 0623 is right there in this throwaway. Is there a 073 somewhere? Just curious. I like these differences because they're super close. And if I had to go from this code to that code, looking them up, it would be further away in the book from each other. These would be most likely on the same page, and I could tell the difference right away. So if I was going to pick one or the other set to look up, I would pick up these as a time saver. So 070. Zero 70 20 fused toes, and then our 9 is an unspecified code. Does AAPC use unspecified codes? This one's unspecified. No, they don't like to use unspecified as a correct answer. So that right there would tell me that the answer is C. And yes, you could have looked up the other ones, the 073. If you did go that route, you'd find that hemorrhage thing that was making the difference. The 073.0. It's a congenital absence of unspecified limbs. That's not as bad as just unspecified of everything. They generally just do not pick ones that end in the number 9. Ending in 0 is a whole nother thing, but ending in the 9 is more unspecified, if that makes any sense at all. That's like truly unspecified when it ends in 9. That's like big time unspecified. Hey Tiffany, how's it going? There you go. There was a minion born. Miss Squirrel had a minion. It's haven't you ever seen the little yellow guys with the big eye? I don't know. He has this big eye in the middle. Yeah. And yeah. And then he's got the britches, right? I don't know. This is going to be terrible. That does not look right. Anyway, you know what a minion is. He's a cartoon character. So the is a good word for a baby. I call my kids the minions, right? All right, which hernia is the worst for Mickey Mouse to have at all? Which one is the absolute worst? Is it strangled or incarcerated, reductible, or ventral? I know. In jail is pretty bad. Being strangled is pretty bad too. Well, think about what's going on. If you're in jail, that's pretty bad. But if you're being strangled, can you still live? I got silence. I got silence. Am I making light bulbs go off? Death is much worse. D is the right answer, yes. Being strangled means they're cutting off the blood flow. Blood supply to that area is being compromised, so that's the most severe. Yep. You might be in jail and you might feel like your life's over with, but you're alive and fairly well. Yep. This just refers to the abdomen. Reductible is just manipulating or fixing it without surgery sometimes. Incarcerated just means it's occluded or whatever. And sometimes you can fix those by manipulating them. Not too bad either. But being strangled and losing the blood supply can be bad in that area. Yeah. Yep. That's how I think about it. Strangled is most severe. Yep, I love association memory. It helps me more than anything. I can't memorize anything without associating it. It just doesn't work for me. What time is it, Jaybird? Is it 8:08? Okay. I got 20 more minutes and then we're done. That'll be 2 hours. All right. He gets to be taken over to a friend's house to spend the night. So he's just waiting on me to get done with the live. So he's in here harassing me already. The part of Medicare that helps cover hospice care for Eeyore is what? It's okay, MK. It's better to miss it with me than miss it on the exam, right? You won't forget what you miss with me too, because the best way to learn is to fail. You don't learn from all the stuff you might memorize and get right quickly, because then you forget it. Just think about all the stuff you forgot in junior high and high school about math alone. The stuff that you got wrong and you were taught an easier or an associative way to do that question later, and you remember that later on in life because you associated it with something. So that's fine. Miss all you want with me, but I tried to make sure that I find a way to help you out to understand and maybe catch it next time. Now you guys know we're not going to have part A and B, 2 sections, both pay for something. That ain't gonna work. The government don't work like that at all. The government barely pays for something, even if it's a section. So it's going to be specific for something, even if it's a section. So it's going to be specific to a section. So if they ever say 2 parts of Medicare will pay for the same procedure. Never pick that as an answer. And we probably know all this wordy crap is not an answer. For process of elimination, I like that these both start with part and part, and that one's A and one's C. So that gets me down to at least a 50-50 shot right here. Thank you for the follow, Making My Way. Good job about writing about this in the front of your book. That's where I suggest. Humiliation is the best teacher. Oh, what a way to put it, Annie. I don't mean to humiliate anybody, but I promise it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to miss it. Yes, part A for hospitalization and all that other stuff, that's your answer. Correct, lady. Good job. I know, Annie. I just thought it was funny. I was just trying to make a joke. It's very cute. I love your wording in that. Humiliation is the best teacher. It's awesome. It's great wording. Very good, guys. E&M, our nemesis, but if you stick with me, everybody's been making 100s, or even an 83 is my lowest so far lately for E&M. So please stick with me if you want to do really good on E&M, and your exam is going to have a lot more questions on E&M than any other side. So if a squirrel presents with a problem where full recovery without any functional impairment is expected, and there is little to no risk of mortality, that's an external cause, like external cause 20, chapter 20 in your ICD-10 book has that word in it, without treatment. So there's no risk of any injury is what this means without treatment. And the risk without treatment is low. The severity of the problem is going to be which one? There you go. C. Good job making my way. Good job. Muscles. Since we were working on this one earlier today, which one can we throw away? C was low. 15 more minutes. Yep, I'm trying to rush through them. Which one can we get rid of? Yep, we can get rid of D. Twinkle, I really appreciate you. And then also, there's one more we can get rid of. What else can we get rid of? Yep, B, because 35 is further away than there's the 31 and the 32. That's where I would start out. If they don't match, then I would move back to the 35. But I would at least start with just these two. So 219. Ooh, let me switch books. I was in the diagnosis one. So 219. What? 31 and 32. We got 2 excisions, both tumors, both soft tissue, both back and flank. One is subcutaneous and one is fascial. So one is subcutaneous and one is muscular is what you should have beside those codes, right? So and think about this right too, because 31 is going to have sub-Q in it. 32 is going to have sub-Q in it too and muscle in it. So it would have both words in it because you have to cut through the subcutaneous tissue to get to the muscle. So just because you do a word search for both those words, if you find sub-Q first, don't forget to keep looking for muscle. So, because it's going to be in both answers. Think about it that way. Yep, they both have the same size. So all you're looking for is muscle tissue, really. If you absolutely see no muscle at all and it's all sub-Q, then you know you're going to stay in that first one. Growing on her flank. She was taken to the operating room. That seems pretty, do they do that for subcutaneous crap? I'm just wondering. Overlying the mass, sub-Q tissue encountered an encapsulated lipoma when they got there. And they used electrocautery. I just see sub-Q. I don't see any kind of muscle. Just because it was a lipoma doesn't mean that they cut through any muscle. And if it's on her flank, don't see nothing about nothing. They didn't say anything about sewing up or nothing. All they said was sub-Q. Yeah. Yep, they're here learning. These are just best practices of how I would attack exam questions during the middle of the exam to pick out the right answer. If this is unclear, guys, and you're scared to know whether it's sub-Q or not, you can also check out my other trick. What did you throw away? And what happens to be in your question, right? So we definitely don't have this A code in one of the other answers, even the ones that we threw away. But we do have that D17 in 2 answers, even though we threw away one of them. You could also go to the diagnoses and look up those differences of just the 17.3 and the 17.1 just to see and pick out the answer instead of looking at the CPT codes. But I love that trick when it works. If it's in one of your throwaways, you can feel pretty self-confident that C is going to be your answer. Yep. One more, and I gotta go. Take Jamesy over to his friend's house. I'll probably be back doing Digestive System if anybody wants to follow along. Doing just book prep, no more questions though. I got a prep for tomorrow's tutoring. I got Miss Edwards tomorrow and somebody else. I got 2 in the morning, bright and early. All right. Process of elimination. Now, these are 20 numbers apart. These are just 4 numbers apart. So for process of elimination, I'd get rid of those and just go straight to these 2 because it works more often than not by the zeros, but by the actual numbers apart. I'm just saying. But If it doesn't match and the 505s aren't matching, then you can go down to the 503s. But let's go look at our 505s real quick. 505. 505. It's just 505 what? 43. 505 43. All right. Our differences of the 43 and this 47. Okay. Cool. Are they under different parents? Nope. They're all under the same thing, which is a laparoscopy surgery. 43 is a partial, and 46 is also a partial, but with a ureter involved. So let's see, do we have a ureter involved? We look from the bottom up, and what do I see here on my third sentence? What is that word? Ooh. So right there, without looking at anything else, I would pick B and move on to my next question. Handy dandy. If you ain't got the one word differences so that you know what to grab and run to those questions and do a word search for, you really ought to go through them and write that one word differences, because it can certainly help save you time just like that. That's all I did, was grab that one word difference instead of reading the entire code word descriptor. I just looked at my little note. It's all I did. Any more questions before I go? And thank y'all for the 1,200 likes and the 2 shares of the lives. I'm going to go take Jamesy boy over to his buddy's house for his buddy's birthday. They don't celebrate birthdays in their family, but they allow him to have a sleepover, if that makes any sense. Like, I can't give him a birthday present, but I can let him spend time with the kids. So that's perfectly fine. I'll let him go spend the night. And Jamesy's had a rough 2 weeks, so I'll let him go over there for the night. No, thank y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate, wow, 59 of you. That's one of my biggest ones so far. Usually it's, 30 to 40 people. So that's pretty cool. I hope everybody got some value in this for sure. Don't forget, we're doing that workshop on Sunday, and it's on the website if you want to attend. And then last Sunday's workshop, if you want it, it's on there too now. So I just had to separate it so that I could find the email addresses and get those added. So if anybody's done that, as soon as I get back from taking James over there, I will be back and do that. And they live super close. So I'll be back in about 30 minutes as always. And we'll do another live with book prep, but I'll also be adding people's email addresses to that YouTube private video for last week's workshop too, when I get back. But I really appreciate y'all, and very best of luck, guys, who are taking their exam tomorrow. Please do not forget, set out all your clothes tonight. Go put those books away and put them in the car tonight so you don't have to do it tomorrow. Please get gas before you go tomorrow. Don't send somebody out to go get gas. Don't think that you're going to do it in the morning if you need it. Don't do that to yourself. All right, guys. I have absolutely hope y'all pass tomorrow, and I can't wait to hear about your exam test taking experience. I hope it was a lot less stressful, and please think about me. Think about what I've told you during your exam. Don't read the questions. Go straight to the answers. Do the process of elimination, then do a word search. Good luck, guys. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so, so much, guys. I really appreciate y'all. I will see y'all back in 30 minutes. Thank you, moms. Bye, guys. Oh, thank you for the balloons. Yay. Y'all are awesome. Good night.